Okay, so the window's open if you hear noise. I just got home from Barbie. Yes, it's Barbenheimer weekend or day, whatever. I did not do a double feature. I could not do a double feature. I wish that I was young and spry and my life timed out that I could do such things. I wouldn't anyway, because obviously Barbie is going to have one vibe and Oppenheimer is going to have another vibe. But good for the people who were doing the double feature. So yeah, of course I would have wanted to see, as Christopher Nolan's one of my favorite directors, and I don't like Greta Gerwig at all, you would think I would have seen Oppenheimer first. It just, the timing didn't work out. So I intend to see Oppenheimer tomorrow. Today is Thursday. And yeah, so I even forgot Greta Gerwig's other movies. I just remember not liking them. I didn't like the one, she starred in one. Was that Frances Ha? Did she direct it or she was just in it? She's, I don't know, are they married or they just boyfriend girlfriend? She's with Noah Baumbach, right? So did he direct that? I don't remember. Then there was Lady Bird. That was the name of it, right? Didn't like it. Felt like it was a Pretty in Pink ripoff. Haha, Pink. I feel like there was another one. Is there another one? I don't remember. Anyway, so yeah, I was going to this because it's a movie and everybody's going and it's a big movie and I like Ryan Gosling. I like Margot Robbie a lot. I think Ryan is best when he's funny. I like everybody when they're funny. I mean, I like everybody when they're serious too, but for me, you're a good actor if you can do funny, and if you're really good looking and you bothered to develop a sense of humor, because you didn't have to if you're really good looking like that. I'm doubly impressed. So he's in that category of like Brad Pitt and Rob Lowe, where they're hilarious and, you know, the best looking guys ever. So going into this, I was just expecting to not like it. And I should say spoilers now anyway. I'm not going to do many spoilers. I have a little bit of notes, but oh, the fan's on if you don't know what that noise is. Then there could be noise from outside. There were the ladies, people, I was shocked. People were all dressed up in pink. All I had is pink toenails, but that's been like that for 2 weeks. It was unintentional. But yeah, the people next to me shed. I had a little piece of their, there was like leftover feathers on the ground. And I was like, let me grab a piece of feather. Because they had boa. I think it was a younger kid that had a boa. But people were dressed, you know, and I was surprised. Because usually people do that at midnight. This was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So even for Star Wars, I mean like when I would be one of the 1 or 2 nerds dressed like something in the afternoon. Not in costume, but you know what I mean? Like with Star Wars shirt or whatever. Hang on a second. Okay, so let me just look at my notes real quick. Yeah, the color, so there were some trailers. I didn't realize that Gran Turismo is about a kid who was doing racing games, who wants to now be a race. I mean, Blomkamp, that's how you say it, right? He was the District 19 person, so you gotta give him, you know, a chance there. But I was like, oh, that's what that is. The effects on Haunted Mansion look so bad. The color purple looks strange. Like, it looked like they're making it cartoony, which doesn't make sense because they're people. And I know it's off the play, that's off the movie. So yeah, I wasn't sure about it. But Fantasia from, where was she from? American Idol or the other one? Yeah, she's in it. So I was like, oh, that's good. But Christmas. And then I started to get depressed thinking about, you know, planning to what to see in Christmas, because I don't like my situation, and to think that I'd be in the same situation or maybe even worse by Christmas made me feel bad. But yeah, so those were the trailers. So yeah, so everybody was really psyched for Barbie, and I'm sitting there going, okay, I had a Barbie when I was very little. Her hair got messed up and she was naked, and then I didn't give a crap, and that was very early on. So I didn't play with dolls I had teddy bears. I had, you know, Care Bears. I had one bear. He wasn't any kind of specific bear, but I had this orange bear that had on a purple suspender and bow tie, and his name was Simon, after Simon the Bond. But yeah, I had little things here and there. I didn't play. I had a late break. I had Hungry Hippos. And then I got, you know, I had an Atari later on. I didn't have Barbies. But you know about Barbie, and you know, even just from watching commercials, you knew about her friends like Skipper and Ken and all that stuff. So I didn't anticipate liking it. I just figured out, I got the vibe from the trailers that it was going to be making fun, which it wasn't. And the people next to me were very much, like I said, they were shedding, they were very into it, and the woman who's sitting right next to me kept giggling every 10 seconds. So right away I'm like, oh my god, how am I going to make it through this movie? But I almost ended up loving this. I mean, I almost ended up, there was a point in the movie where I said, is this my new favorite movie of the year? I'm not even kidding. Now the last 10 minutes kind of ruined that. Their dastardly plans got too manipulative, and it was too girls against boys. But up to that point, I mean, there was a point. I mean, Ryan Gosling. Like I said, Margot Robbie's great. The movie was really good. They really did a good job. Like I said, I'm not a fan of Greta Gerwig at all. They did a really good job. You know, really creative, really smart. Sometimes the way she moved was so funny because it was just really funny. So in a just world, they might nominate Margot and Ryan for Oscars, but that's not we live in a strange world where genre doesn't matter how great your performance is, you won't get there. But I don't know who Alan is. Michael Cera was there being Alan. I don't know Alan. I don't remember Alan. But so there were some things I knew I wasn't gonna get. Let me check my notes. Oh yeah, there were cool things like there was no water in the shower, stuff like that. Very early on, I wrote down Super Mario Bros. Now, Super Mario Bros. Again, a game I didn't play, so I wasn't sure if I was going to like that movie, but I knew there was a bunch of stuff I didn't get. So in the beginning of this, I said, watch this be like Super Mario Bros. And I'm not even going to get it. But that didn't end up being the case, because it wasn't that you didn't need to know Barbie that well, apart from knowing about her in the culture. Yeah, really early on, again, I said the Kens are already more interesting. I'm sorry. I guess I'm a movie misogynist, and I always have been, which is funny, because okay, so, spoilers again. I'm saying spoilers, just make sure you're gone if you don't watch it. So, Barbie starts having issues where she starts thinking about real life things, and somehow the real life world is bleeding into the Barbie world. And like I said, I never played Barbies. I knew from commercials about, you know, all the different Barbies and the Dream House and the Malibu Barbie, and so I knew about them without ever having them. And I don't know that any of my friends had that stuff either. And it reminded me of first it reminded me of the Lego Movie and maybe Toy Story 3 and stuff like that. But I thought it was going to be copying them. It didn't. So first I thought the movie wasn't for me, and I wrote that down. And then when she said, I think about death and dying and stuff like that, I was like, oh wait, maybe it is. But, yeah, some of the music cues were really hilarious, made you laugh really hard. I'm not going to give them away. Beach, all the genitals, and I started wondering if some of those weren't Ryan Gosling ad-libbing, because Ryan Gosling cracked me up so bad in what was it called, the one about the stocks, The Big Short, right? And then he was on the Saturday Night Live. The other guys is funny too, but on Saturday Night Live, I'm just seeing him thinking Santa Claus is really coming to the house. He's really funny, so I expected that. I mean, I expect him to be funny. I didn't expect the movie to be that funny, but there were some things I was like, maybe he did some ad-libs there because... Okay, and then okay. This is what I love. This is when I start saying, okay, I'm starting to love this, and it was all about Ken. Sorry. So they go to the real world, and he somehow goes somewhere where there's a poster for Rocky 3. And I said before, I said years ago, I don't know if I said it on videotape, but I said a long time ago, you know what? Ryan Gosling kind of looks like Sylvester Stallone. I said he should play his son. I still want him to play his son. I said it a long time ago. There's a poster for Rocky 3. Then at some point they put three like panels of pictures of Sylvester Stallone in the 80s wearing long fur coats. I have always been I really like guys in fur coats. There was an episode of Seinfeld with Putty. This is like a thing I like. So Ryan Gosling learns all about patriarchy and horses, and he comes back, and he basically takes over Barbie land. And I was much more in favor of that. Him with the fur and the bandana and his hair over. I was like, no, this is the perfect man. See, this is what I've done this before, where going back to when I was, I guess, in high school or freshman in college, when Beauty and the Beast, the animated version, came out, and I was like, what's wrong with this broad? Gaston is perfect. I like those kind of guys. So when this is my problem in life, you understand. But so yeah, so he's got the fur coat, and I'm like, oh my god, he's perfect. And then all the dance numbers. There was like a section of dance numbers with all the Kens, and I was like, no, this is going to be my favorite movie of the year. Then in the last 10 minutes, I'm saying 10 minutes, it could have been longer than that, they got really feministy, and they were being way too manipulative of the men. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I know people think that, you know, that somehow levels the playing field. No, I don't. I'm not like that. I never took that girl stance of us against them, which, again, it's my problem in life, right? So, but yeah, he was so perfect. I'm like, I'm coming back to watch this again for the dance numbers, which makes me say again, this is why I hated La La Land, and he's amazing, and he sang great. And when they kept singing that song, I'm not saying what song, just in case anybody's not watching it, because there's no point in spoiling it. But the song the women were singing and the song the men were singing, I mean, it was really funny. And they made I laughed really hard a couple times where I doubled over. And there was a joke about the Zack Snyder cut that made me, I can't read my notes because I wrote over them. This is the problem. Yeah. From the minute Ken said Mojo Dojo Kaza House, this was like perfect reality. Everything right there. You know, until the girls went crazy and decided they were going to, well, not didn't go crazy, but they decided they were going to trick the guys by, you know, using feminine wiles and whatnot. Not a fan of seemingly you expect, but I actually expected him to dance better. There was something I saw him in and I was surprised I thought he was good at dancing or something like that. But yeah, because then I was like, wait a minute, so Ryan Gosling's the best dancer out of this group. And then, but then, when everything's coming together and there's all those dance numbers, and then they're doing, what were they doing? I don't remember, but all of a sudden it's seemingly you with the ribbon, like the ribbon from gymnastics in the Olympics, you know, the stick with the ribbon on it. I doubled over laughing at that. I can't read my notes. There's something else that I forgot, but yeah. This is the little girl from 65, which is, I thought this might be my favorite movie. It's not, but was that close? Because, except for not those 10 minutes there. The little girl. What else? Yeah, see, at one point I read, oh my god, why is this so good? Because it was shocking, but it was right there in those dance, that, I don't know what you want to call it. Dance sequence. You know what I mean? I love it, and I think I am going to go back at some point to see it again. I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. I was like, it was 9 out of 10 for a while. They really had to go too hard with the feminist crap at the end for me to roll it back down. But yeah, so it's probably, I don't know, it's probably like my number 4 movie of the year, so I know somewhere in there. But it was that close because my top 3 are tight. It's still 65, Sound of Freedom, and Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. So tomorrow I see Oppenheimer, we'll see. But yeah, I'm shocked beyond belief how much I loved Barbie. I'm not shocked about how much I loved Ryan Gosling. Can't believe how perfect he looked, because he already is extremely good looking guy. Can't believe how perfect he was in the fur coat and the bandana. I mean, oh, and then the fur coat comes off later and there's a vest with tassels, which is just basically shoulders and tassels. And I was just like, oh my god. Oh my god, it's so perfect. This is how I am. That's my personality. So yeah. So I think it's gonna have a huge number. We'll see. I'm really afraid of Oppenheimer. I haven't liked the last 2 Christopher Nolan movies, even though I consider him a favorite director. And the last 2 I didn't like. They had Kenneth Branagh. I just saw yesterday. I didn't see before. I saw Kenneth Branagh in one of the commercials yesterday, so I'm like, okay, great, wonderful. Kenneth Branagh is a pretty good director. I don't like him as an actor at all. I don't know why. I feel like Christopher Nolan was trying to transition, get some other older actor to replace Michael Caine, just in case. Not him. But anyway, yeah. So 8 out of 10. Very nearly a 9. Well, it was going to be a 9 for a long time, except when they just went too feminist at the end. That last 10 minutes, and it went on, and then they started putting pictures of mommies and stuff. It veered off course. You stop it. Well, you can't stop it because she has to take over Barbie Land again. But even the stuff where you know, I mean, Rhea Perlman's obviously she was going to be the lady who, what do you call it? Invented Barbie or created Barbie. But that whole scene at the end where she was trying to become a real person or something, that was unnecessary too. So, and even the part where her and Ken, where he was like, "Oh, I was only made to be," like, that was getting too schmaltzy. So maybe right after that, like they're friends now and everything's fixed with them, and she's got Barbie World again. Maybe right there we could have ended it with one more dance number or something like that. But yeah, I didn't need the. There was too much. There was extra. There was. It went away. I didn't like it then, and then there was too much extra. So that's why it's 8. Because it still could have stayed a 9 if they didn't do that. Too much schmaltzy stuff at the end. But yeah. So I'll probably talk about it again in some movie chat or whatever. Down the line, if I go back again. There's not. I really don't think there's going to be anything I missed. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I laughed a lot. I was surprised, really surprised. So whoever was responsible for whatever, you know, it was great. It was great. And the whole cast did a good job. Nobody stunk. The whole cast did a great job. I actually considered whether it could be something that was nominated for Best Ensemble. No kidding. Because that's what I'm saying. In my mind, as somebody who watched all the Oscar shows and stuff and all the award shows, I always felt like I never said, oh, this is an Oscar movie, so I'm going to guess because I'm trying to predict what they're going to do. I was never trying to predict them. I was trying to tell them what to do. So if I went on Awards Daily or Gold Derby, I would say this should be nominated. And I didn't care if it was a comedy, and I didn't care if it was a musical, and I didn't care if it was a great performance in a bad movie. So I will always say what I would nominate if I was the Academy. They don't have an ensemble, which they should. But at SAG, they have an ensemble, so this was a great ensemble. Because it was very ensemble-y.